book review of mod art. It includes music and graphics, fashion and art, mod design from the 50s to the 90s. So it covers quite a bit of period. Now, quite a bit of it is the 1960s, 1950s, 1960s, but it's sort of, there's quite a bit at the back that's obviously a bit later, the punk period, etc. And this is all by Paul Smiler Anderson. It's about 280 pages of thoroughly enjoyable mod imagery, photos, etc. Predominantly black and white, but there's a lot of colour as well. And just going to run through it quickly. It's got an introduction, and it is a quality book. You can see it's a real decent quality there. Starts off with pop art, the very early days of Bridget Riley, the brilliant pop art designs. And then into the fashion. So you've got lots of ads for shops and various pictures of shops, etc. So you've got like Lord John. So there's lots of pages with lots and lots of photos on. And I think it's just beautiful. So you can see Carnaby Street one there. Also, great ads. There's some, also all the clothes. I love the adverts with prices. So you look at it and think, wow, some of it was quite expensive. Must have cost a lot to buy. I mean, I'm certain people struggled to purchase some of these items, and you've got this lovely bit of Ready Steady Go, all the original title sequence. There's been a book, Ready Steady Go book, that was just amazing, even more heavy duty than this. Absolutely solid book. That's definitely worth checking out. This book also, of course, got some great pictures there. So there's some colour, as I mentioned. Got some pictures of people on their bikes, Lambrettas, Vespas, etc. And then you got into the music. And some of these people, I must admit, I have never heard of. Obviously, some of them I have, but it's quite a few. You think, oh, who are these people? And that's what I love about the ads for like music events and things. And also this one, like Jazz Beat. Picked up loads of copies of Jazz Beat, and just great when you sort of find in a market sort of these batch of old magazines. And it does show lots of these sort of things. Never seen a copy of Rave ever. So there's a copy there, a picture. Now, I would love to see a book of these magazines, all the raves and those sort of things. Maybe a bit more examples, but then you go on to the ads, obviously, of the concerts and things. And quite often, of course, they feature lots and lots of bands that I must admit I've never heard of. The John West Group. Obviously, Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames, I've heard of them. Graham Bond Quartet, I've heard of them. And so on and so on. But quite often they mention lots of these people that you think, Tommy Whittle, and, you know, I have to say, I do not know. The Cream, I've heard of them. And then you've got some, obviously, lovely of the various small faces there. And again, you've got some more lovely cards there. And the Who. So going to the Who, you've got a great shot of Pete Townshend's guitar. And then, now this is about 126. You can see the book is slightly changed at this point. It's about halfway through. So it's about there, you can see. It starts to move away from the 60s, which I found slightly a pity. Because I must admit, I would have more preferred even more of, but of course, there's loads of other mod books available, and they're packed solid with great pics as well, imagery. So this book obviously has included a lot, but at this point it changes. So you suddenly go into the Quadrophenia, 1970s, and then back to zero. The Numbers, I remember those bands, they were great. The Purple Hearts. And you've got all the various fanzines, of course, that were created at the time, Jam, all mod cons, and then you've got the record mirror, Mods and Sods, the Chords and the Jam, and Bee Gees. Anyway, record mirror, Sounds. I loved Sounds. Sounds was a favourite of mine. Direction. Some of these bands, I must admit, the directions, I have to say, I do not remember. Purple Hearts, definitely. Time Out magazine, I remember that one. And you've got lots of pictures there again. And you've got lots of the album covers. So you've got lots of there. Again, mod fanzines of the period. Speed magazine. Now, I have to say I didn't get any of those. I got lots of the punk period, the Sniffing Glue and all those sort of ones. But I didn't get Speed. I don't know, maybe they just didn't turn up where I live. Or probably I didn't go up to London. Go to the right shops at the right time to pick them up. But the in crowd. Wow. So also, that's another thing. 80p. The price obviously was going up at that point. And talking about my generation, and then you go into obviously a bit later, all the way through the Untouchables, and more of these obviously various dance venues and things. And they've got lots and lots of examples of all the posters that we use for this. This is £1 after, and this is I can't even read the writing. Black Horse, Rathbone Place. Rathbone Place. Yep. Place I know fairly well. And Scooter Rallies, etc. All Saints mod. And there's just vast amounts of posters all the way through the back of this book. And it's just great. Also, my favourite shop, the Star Council. Just recently watched a documentary on Sky Arts. That's a really, really enjoyable documentary of that Star Council. Lots and lots of their music, as well as obviously interviews, etc. Period as well. So, our favourite shop. I love that one actually, our favourite shop. You can see all the various things on there, Al Green, etc. Hard Day's Night, of course, and all the books on the side, on the spinner. Now, I love book spinners. So you've got The Prisoner, I've got that book, and a number of other books there, Lauren Bacall, etc. Then all the way through, Rhythm and Soul, Making Time, and then more album covers, and then this book is just solid quality all the way through. The brand new heavies, all the way through to modern artists, and probably one of Pete Townsend there, and finishing off the book. A really high quality, superb book about mod art, a whole range about mod art, like I said, music graphics, fashion and art, mod design, etc. But it covers quite a period. It's not just the 60s. So it does cover all the way through to the 1990s. Totally recommended. Brilliant book.